Welcome back. Dozens of people, including children, have been killed in an overnight attack on a displaced persons camp in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo's Ituri province. The DRC's government declared martial law in Ituri, a neighboring North Kivu province, a year ago in a bid to quell the violence there, but deadly raids have surged since then. For more on this, we can speak to David Masomo, Executive Director of DRC-based non-government organization Mavuno. David, grateful for your time today. What more are you hearing about the death toll? Because at some point in the last few hours, there was conflicting information about how many people had been killed in Ituri.
Yeah, thank you. This is happened on Saturday, 7 at night, actually. So in a place called Cap Blangeti, where these people came at night and they killed people. So now the number of the killed people has increased. They are talking about more than 100 people have been killed, and a lot of houses burned, and too many gold and many stuff was taken from the homes where they attacked.
And this was all through separate attacks over the weekend. Some fingers are pointing at a Codeco armed group as the killers in this instance. Has that been confirmed?
Yeah, this is confirmed. The Codeco, which is supposed to be a cooperative, is actually a malicious group that is claiming to protect Lendu community interests, which is not true, because as we know, all the malicious group in the region, they are there just to loot mine, to protect the mine, gold mines, and sell to the neighboring countries.
And David, if the issue at the heart of this is to do with land and natural resources, as you were saying, mining in that region, why would Codeco attack civilians, including women and children? I mean, some of the footage that's come out of Ituri is shocking, where you see dozens of bodies lined up and covered with fabric. People who are clearly killed by a large group of people, at least at this stage, the indication state.
Yeah, so there is something we need to mention here. Is like, on I think it's 21st of April, the government, the president has went to Nairobi to meet with leader of malicious groups. So the leader of Codeco was not invited. This is something people are not mentioning. And so this man wanted to show that he is present. Why the president is talking with other malicious group, but him was not invited. So he wanted to show that he exists, and he can do a very big massacre as well. As you may know, that there is a culture of impunity in this country, where all the leader of militia, none of them has been put in jail. When they will end up talking to the president and get position in the government or in the army, but they will never end up getting in jail. So this is a kind of culture of impunity that is really encouraging people to do more, or to create more malicious group and to do all these crime. And even if they are taken by the international court, they will not really face a very big sentence, like So this is a situation that is going. That's why this insecurity is going on and going on. People are creating new malicious group just because that nothing will happen to them.
So, how effective is the killing of civilians as happened in Ituri over the weekend? How effective is that as far as getting the government to deal or speak directly to groups such as Codeco, if it was already excluded from a very recent round of discussions with these armed militia groups?
So let's wait and see. First of all, it's like they've shown that they are present. They're still capable of doing killings. And secondly, as I mentioned, this Codeco is claiming to protect Lendu community interests. And the place where they attacked it's a camp where there is HEMA. So it's like an opposing community groups. So they attacked, they killed the enemy. They kind of killed the enemy ethnic. And secondly, it's a place where there is a gold mine, so they had to as well. So they kind of reached so many interests. First of all, they killed the enemy ethnic. Secondly, they had gold, and the third, they could make them safe here, and the president can talk about them, and maybe they can be as well allowed to meet with the president.
You said that there's little hope, little chance that there'll actually ever be justice for the victims as far as prosecutions are concerned, which brings me to my next question about the might of the police service and the military in the DRC as far as protecting the communities and perhaps even going after the militias in cases where civilians have been murdered, as we've seen.
Mm-hmm. So I will go back to what just the president has spoke when he went to the visit in Ivory Coast. He said himself that the army and the police of Congo is always also collaborating with the malicious group, which is making all these problems very difficult to solve. So the president and the government know that there are some soldier and armed officers who are collaborating with the malicious group, but they are not doing what they should do, actually. So this is quite confusing and quite complicated, this insecurity in the east of Congo.
So on that point then, how genuine would you say efforts are to resolve the issue to do with land and the battle for economic resources, which appears to be at the very center of this violence?
Come again?
How genuine would you say the government has been in trying to address the root causes of the violence, i.e. issues to do with the mines, issues to do with the land?
I would say they've not done any. I mean, they've not done enough to solve that problem. We are in a state of siege since I think April 2021 until now. We can see the increasing of the killings in the region. So there is no enough seriousness in the solution that the government designed to solve the problems. And the most important thing I would say is the impunity, the culture of impunity. How would you expect people to fear if you don't punish them? If people kill and they get promoted, if people kill and get position in government and the army, how do you expect to solve the problem of the security with impunity?
David Masomo, good to have your time, Executive Director of the DRC-based non-government organization Mavuno, speaking to us from the DRC this afternoon.